Hello and welcome. Welcome back if you've been here before. I have a message mainly for myself. If you resonate, you resonate. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But right now, you're definitely being called to focus on the bigger picture at hand because right now I'm just seeing like a lot of pictures, but it all in readings, everything is just to tell a story. So, might be a little all over the place, but again, take what resonates and leave what doesn't resonate. So, anyways, right now you're being called to focus on the bigger picture at hand and really balance the sacrifices that you're making with making sure that they are conducive to your goals. Focusing on the bigger picture right now is what's going to get you through potentially like a stagnancy or a lack of optimism and a lack of confidence and potentially like blocked abundance. And yeah, right now you're definitely being called to travel. And I'm seeing New York City in my mind. I'm seeing Paris. I'm seeing Milan. I'm seeing London. I'm seeing Tokyo. Um, I'm even seeing like LA. So, and right, you are in a preparing season to move, to travel. And in this preparing season, you're healing, and it might be hard to find optimism. So, prayer, remembering that the little things add up to even bigger abundance, bigger downloads, bigger surface area for more abundance and opportunities to be able to take time to retreat and heal. Yeah, so your confidence might have been attacked recently, and take that as it resonates because we all need to take accountability in our situations in life. But at this time, you're being called to tap into your inner courage and your inner bravery. I'm seeing Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I think I might have seen this in another reading, but I don't quite remember from whom. But basically, Courage the Cowardly Dog, is a cartoon character painted or written, animated to just seem very cowardly and afraid and unable to progress, and but really in reality he's protecting those that he loves, and he's not taking that lightly, and he actually in his own way has to build up the courage to overcome his fears in order to protect his family in a very satirical way. So you might be called to rewatch that. I know when I was a kid, that TV show kind of gave me anxiety, but looking back on it as an adult, you can kind of pause and reflect and see that he was actually being very brave and courageous and had to overcome a lot. And he was like fighting these huge monsters. He's a little dog, and I have a small Chihuahua dog, like mixed Chihuahua. Um, and he's so cute. But basically, the whole message is that animals might be significant, cats might be significant, black cats might be significant, little dogs might be significant. Right now, you need to channel the courage and the gumption and the full, with your chest, like bark, howl of a Chihuahua. Oftentimes you don't see a dog that is more ready to throw down with a dog twice its size, or a human for that matter. So take that as it resonates. You've definitely found what it is that you need to do already. You might be sitting on it, you might be pausing on it, and you're being called to speak your truth. At a certain level, you need to speak your truth to yourself before you can fully speak out your truth with bravery and with, from a healed place. Not saying that, there's a certain level of healing that we reach and then we're ultimately healed and nothing can ever hurt us. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you've come to a point where you know what you need to do. You know that you're co-creating. You have a deep level of optimism that sometimes can get lost in the world and how we're always having to move, and not being able to look back at the little things that you've accumulated throughout your journey. So you've understood that now. You understand that it is the little things. It is focusing on the bigger picture while taking little actions every day to not only move toward your goals, but to heal and to find peace and pleasure and joy and presence throughout your life, and to also build your confidence and bravery and courage. Speak your truth to yourself, at least, and be truthful in the world, in the way that you express yourself. I'm also getting that people have intentionally tried to block your optimism and your blessings. And in a way, you internalize that sometimes you've stood in your own way of your own optimism and your own blessings. And you're coming out of that because life is a learning experience and we're always learning. And you're divinely protected. Oh my god. My throat. We're clearing. You might be suffering pressure headaches right now or hip pain. We're releasing that and we're healing from that, by the way. Yeah. So all of this has come to your learning experience. And the blessings of abundance are there. The optimism is there. The confidence is there. The deep introspection is there. But it has been blocked. And what I'm getting to is that this is a learning experience, but at a certain point you need to make a decision on how you're going to move forward and what truly deeply resonates with you. And this isn't a love message. However, if you're in a relationship, if you're dealing with relationship issues at this current moment, I'm being called to say that you've done the deep introspection on relationships and love necessary to attract a truly gratifying experience in your relationships. And this is just relationships, platonic and romantic. You've done the deep introspection. You've done pouring into things. You've done putting it into practice, is what I'm seeing. You've put it into practice. The optimism, the love, the looking at other people deeply. Literally, you are a healing energy to be around. You move other people, like emotionally, but like also like physically. Like you help them, literally, I'm hearing like jump timelines. So, and you show them, you're like a model of steady progress. You are a model of truth. And some people didn't like that. Even romantic partners. I'm being totally called to say that. Like, romantic partners didn't like you in your truth, in your full optimism, like, and just like literally winning every time. Literally winning while healing. Winning while retreating. But the right ones will, the right partners, whether that, and I'm being called to say, because again, this is not a love relationship message. This is just like generally, like, you can experience something deep with friends and with, and I know that, like, again, if you are someone very dead set on love, but you don't even have like a good set of friends, that is something to really reflect on. And that might sound like a blanket statement, but think about it. Would you want to be with somebody that they can't even say that, like, oh, this my partner is like also my best friend? Right? Like, that matters. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you in particular are being called to manage your stress and really, like, if you're gonna look deeply on anything at this moment and put anything into practice, it is the art of setting boundaries. And setting boundaries, again, is not always peaceful looking. It's not always the most, it doesn't always feel super aligned, and sometimes it can take a knock to what feels like your blessings and your abundance and your confidence and your self-worth. But when you put your self-worth into your relationships, and when you put your optimism and your health and your courage in the hands of others, you're not going to get very far. You might get somewhere. And, you know, we can only hope that that is a good place when you fully put your agency into the care of other people. We can only hope that these people have your best interest. But there's one person in this world that can have your best interest for you, and it's you. Capiche? I was being called to say that. Capiche? Right? Because, like, that's serious talk. Like, so right now, you're zoning in on stress management. Like, literally, I mean, like, the card literally says stress, girl. Can you read that? Is she focusing? Anyways, because it's dark in here. Oh, wait, that works. Anyways, so it says stress management. I'm seeing the stress management card. I'm seeing, like, you know, this girl is wearing a beautiful blue dress. She has, like, a little scarf wrapped around her shoulders. She's got her little birds and, like, her cat. Well, it's like, literally, like, a cheetah. But, you know, nonetheless, I'm getting that, like, people almost were like, oh, she's a crazy cat lady. Or, like, they're just so recluse and, you know, listen, you're not somebody who's like, yeah, I'm just alone. You might be in a place, in a working field, in a situation where you understand that being alone for you is necessary. But you also know that, like, you have a threshold, right? And you've actually already found your community of people. If you're here, you may have, or you're calling in your community, and you're, like, literally in an energy where you're attracting people who can match you in the sense where they understand these things about life where, you know, in order to manage stress, we actually shouldn't be, like, constantly trauma dumping on our friends. Of course, be reliable. Be somebody who can not only open up to their friends about what's going on in their life, but, and lovers and, you know, chosen family, whether that's your blood or soul family. Listen, you need to be able to be as vulnerable as you are expecting people to be for you. Capiche? So, managing your stress is, like, so key at this moment in order to kind of, like, reverse this, like, blocked optimism and blessing energy and this blocked confidence and this blocked, like, being able to just act on your, like, your wants and needs and abundance too, because it's almost like I'm getting the energy that a lot of this is, like, self-made problems. And I'm hearing this song from I think it's Big Sean, but he has a line where it's like, oh, it's the song, okay, now I think it's Eminem and Big Sean, but I'm forgetting the line, but at a certain point, one of them says, bitch, I'm like your problem, self-made. And they continue. It was honestly such a bar. I don't know what happened to that song. I don't know if it's still in my playlist. But anyways, so, right. I'm getting that a lot of these problems, like this blocking of blessings, and this is not to take away anyone else's accountability and put it all on you either, because we all know that, you know, while we are co-creating, there are genuinely people out there that need to, like, seriously focus on their own healing, and instead of doing that, they, like, put it on everyone else. So again, you need to be able to meet other people with vulnerability and understanding that people are not superheroes. People are not your saviors. Like, and I don't want to say that nobody is coming to save you, but it's like nobody, okay, that's what I'm getting. Nobody is going to force you to be saved, okay? You're not attracting Captain Save-A-Hose. You're not. That's just not the energy you're in, because this self-managed stress energy carries into how vulnerable you are actually able to be. And stress is a like very umbrella term, okay? Like please take that as it resonates, but like, you know, seriously, we are stepping into like emotional security on a level that is so healed and so like abundant and so truthful that you actually don't need to keep on doing this like deep introspection and like gotta do shadow work, like gotta keep figuring out all my childhood traumas. Like, babe, you know, and you've actually been like doing the work, and you've been unpacking a lot, and you've been deconstructing. Like, you are genuinely so smart. Like, you have a master's degree in deconstructing. You have a master's degree in your like particular field, because you've been dedicated. Okay, like, it's not that practice makes perfect at this point in your, like, you are actually the perfect candidate for your job, for this relationship. The question is, are they the perfect candidate for you, for with how, like, what level you're at right now? Because no position, no amount of money, and I think that's very brave for me to say, because yes, we need money to survive. We live in a society where you need money to survive. And, money is not the root of all evil, but it's also not the root of your confidence. It's not, Abby Lee, the famed Abby Lee Miller once said, not us channeling Abby Lee Miller, but one thing she said is true, okay? She said one true thing, like, out of all the horrible things she said. It's hard to get to the top of the pyramid. It's even harder to stay there. And I think in terms of, like, self-confidence, you've done so much, like, educating yourself on, like, not only, like, I'm hearing psychology and, like, learning to develop yourself and your own psychology, but, like, your health and like, the social, like, aspect of being a human in this day and age. And this is a timeless message, but in this day and age, whenever you're finding this, you understand how to act and how to be confident. Okay? So remember to tap into that. Remember that you are ultimately not only always learning, but protecting your peace. You are healing physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, but it is a steady progress. It's a steady movement. Okay, you are going to have moments in your life where you need to pause, take a breath, smell the flowers, because you're always learning. This life is a learning experience, but you are protected, you are respected, you are rich, and you are that bitch. Period. And I love you. And yes, I'm wearing a lei today because you actually don't need to have any occasion to wear a lei. You can wear a lei just because you are that bitch. And my occasion is that I'm literally Hawaiian and I can wear a lei if I want to. So yeah. Anyways, love you guys. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And I'll see you in the next message. Arrivederci.